such a way that our elasticity limit will not even be able to contrast again, will not even be able to come together again. And it is, let me say, most youths, like 90% of the youths that does this, and all we are chasing is good life. Agreed. But one thing with life is we can get to success through different routes, but the particular place we are going is success. We are going to success. We all want to make it. We all want to be great in life, but we can get to success through different routes. So when you are tired, when you can't carry on again, when you are weak, take some time to rest. Relax. Nobody is rushing you. Your parents at your age, they know what they were doing. You can ask them. So nobody is rushing anybody. It's just that we are in a technology age and everything is advanced. That's why we often feel guilt-tripped in us. You are not too young for all these things you are trying out. You are not too young for all these things you are trying out. Yes, and you are, most of the time, we are too young. Let me say we are too young for some certain amount of weight. When you don't have the knowledge about some things, that is why when you give power to the younger people, they tend to misuse it. They tend to use it in ways that will destroy themselves and even affect the people they are controlling. And that is why when you are tired, you have to rest. When your energy is burned out, you have to sit down, think, relax, gather momentum for another step, for another stage. Life is a stage. You cannot say because you used a particular energy for this level, you cannot use it for the next level. It's not possible. You begin to wax stronger when you you relax, gain momentum and carry on. That is how you run the race. That is how you achieve your goal. That is how you achieve any dream. Don't let anybody give you cocks and bull story about some pipe dreams, some fictional stories that aren't real. Don't let anybody create any time wasting image in your head. Although you don't have to wait, you have to work, you have to hustle, you have to pull yourself together and be a man on your own. But you don't have to rush too much. You don't have to exhaust the energy that you will use for the next 6-7 stages and use it for stage 1. That is what kills most dream. That is what kills the passion in you. That is what suppresses the dream in you. Because most of you often think that I've been dreaming about this thing, I have this idea and it's a very perfect plan, but everything just got tiring and I just got fed up, and in the middle of the way I gave up. It is because you are over elasticizing yourself. You did not take time to rest. You did not give it interval. You have burned the energy. For the next 10 stages, you have burned it for just 2 stages. And after that 2 stages, the energy to carry on for the next stage are not there anymore. That is why you see yourself giving up at the crossroad, giving up at the peak of you getting to your goal, achieving your success. That's why you see so many people giving up. Go and ask so many rich people, so many successful, so many talented people in the world. Go and ask them how they did it. Most of them dreamed, they did it, they failed, went back, re-strategized, and start again. Now, what causes failure most of the time is because we don't take time to rest in between the journey, in between the stages, because they are resting stage. Either you like it or not, but people often count it as weariness, that you are being wearied. But weariness is not that. You resting is not weariness. You relaxing is not weariness. You regaining momentum is not weariness. When they say know what works for you, this is what works for everybody. As long as you are human, this is what works for everybody. Now, take a look at the life of Dangote. When he started his business career, he started at the age of 21 as a businessman. He lended money from his uncle and He invested in sugar production and stuffs. He invested in food and all other things like that, and particularly started the production of cement. That is the part, that is the stories that you will never hear, because people don't look for the pain, they don't look for the grounding part, for the feeling part. It's the success story people often read. And how do you learn from people? You learn, especially successful people. I mean successful people, not people that failed. I mean successful people that learn from their failure. How do you learn from them? You go back and read their failure story, how they failed and how they overcame that failure. Now, Dangote, 1960, I think. Dangote in the early 1990s, I think, yeah, maybe in the early 1990s or so, had the first experience. No, let me not say the first, because it might have failed before, but had the first huge experience of failure in the early 1990s. And why was that? He invested in cement production and he failed due to governmental policies, due to inadequate resources, due to materials, and due to competition, high competition. And I can learn one thing in that is failing part. And what do I learn? What I learned is he didn't start when he could beat the market. He started while he wasn't able to beat the market. He started as a person who failed to see the game in the market, to see how the market is being played, to see how things is being run in the market. Now, although he wasn't happy then, I know he wasn't happy, I'm very sure he wasn't happy, but he failed then, though he wasn't happy. But despite his failure, he didn't retreat, he didn't give up. He learned from his failure, he re-strategized. That is, despite his failure, he didn't give up. That is, his failure, he rests, then picked up his hustle again. He rests. That strategizing is a time of him resting. It's a time of him thinking of what to do, how to beat the market. It's a time of him studying his lapses. It's a time of him reflecting his own ways, meticulously checking out all places he has failed out. And what? He learned all his lessons and he came back better, bigger and stronger. And Dangote right now is the largest cement company in Africa. It's the largest, highest supplying company in Africa. It's undefeatable, it's unbeatable. And that is how it will be for generations to come, because he has learnt how to beat the competition. And while he was re-strategizing, he didn't put all his egg in one basket. He was a man of diversification. You know, I earlier said he was into sugar, noodles. He produced plenty things. He produces plenty, so many things. So he's a man of diversification. He didn't just wake up one day and put all his money into one basket. He will have gone bankrupt and nobody will have even heard a name that is Dangote. For real. But he diversifies. He never stops learning. He is still what? Acquiring knowledge. He never stops learning. If you want to be rich, if you want to be wealthy, don't stop learning. Don't stop reading. Don't stop focusing. Don't stop paying attention on little things. He follows the trend. He's following the trend of things. In the 90s, it was food, because his uncle, who was Dantata, his own major source of wealth was basically on kola nuts and all this agricultural produce. But we see that in this dispensation we are, things are changing and technology is taking up everything. So when you are reigniting your passion, try to move with the trend. Be a focused person. Build yourself on the process, not the outcome. Focus on the process. When Dangote focused on the process, achieved more than he thought he could. Focused on how cement was built, how cement can be made, what can make cement so quality. He focused on what kind of market people need, what kind of cement people need, and he focused on where. He focused on how, he focused on what, and he focused on where. These three things, if you can focus on it while reigniting your passion, you'll be very successful in anything you apply it to. I bet you. If you focus on how, if you focus on what, if you focus on where, these three things is very important in reigniting your passion. Those passion that has been dead in you, those dream that has been choked by consistent burnouts of energy, those dreams that have died due to non-enablement of fueling on your journey, you can resuscitate them by resting, focusing on the process and not the outcome, and then knowing why you started. Your motivation, your inspiration is what matters. Take these three things into action and see your life changing. Peace.